Hello, everybody. This is Teany Hidalgo, your purpose coach, and today is your dose of high vibe, forward thinking, and revolutionary content that encourages you to discover the passions that lead you to your purpose, aka do what you love. And I have an amazing guest today, Kelly Espino. Say hi to everybody.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Seriously, so excited.
I'm so excited to have you here. You know, I love high vibe people. One of my friends calls them her sparkly people. I feel like you're one of those people, like the sparkly people. High vibe, super energetic, like really positive and fun. Totally see that. So if you guys haven't like stalked her on Instagram or Facebook, please do that.
Oh, thank you. No, really, honestly, I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yay. All right, so let me just double check to make sure that everything is working.
Cool.
The powers that be on Facebook. Yes. All right, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I want to introduce you guys to the lovely Kelly, and then feel free to ask questions throughout the entire interview if you guys like. You guys know what to do right below. All right. So Kelly Espino is a licensed social worker, which is awesome. One of my really good friends is as well. She's a spiritual empowerment coach and transformational speaker who's on a mission to support and empower individuals in rediscovering their worth, truth, and personal power by connecting with their authentic selves. She incorporates spirituality, which I love, mindset strategies, subconscious reprogramming methods, her counseling background, of course, and personal stories to help people reclaim their power, rediscover who they truly are, create the life they want, love, and most importantly, really, truly deserve. I love that. Love that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So first of all, your work is so amazing. I love that you come from a social work background because, I mean, you really have sort of the groundwork for this type of thing, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like it definitely all came in alignment. It was just like, wow, that's why I went to social work. Now it makes sense. Like, it just makes so much sense, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm sure that you've been able to use your skills even before you became a spiritual coach to help other people. So I'm sure that it's been come in handy, shall we say.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? It's like, I really do feel we're just given these natural born qualities that we're just born with, because a lot of times when I was a social worker or even in social work, like education, I always was go to my sister and be like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not being I'm not a good social worker, blah, blah, blah. I never felt good enough. And my sister was like, Kelly, but you don't understand your emotional intelligence, how you're able to hold space, how you're able to look at someone with eye contact, how you're able to give them nodding and just like knowing what to say and just being present. To you, that's like, oh, that's just who I am. But to other people, those are actual skills.
Absolutely.
You. Yeah. So
yeah.
Good perspective.
I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to be heard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And for you to have that skill, that empathic skill is seriously a skill. Like not everybody has that.
And that's safe. Like, I really pride myself in being able to provide a safe space for people. And I feel like that's another thing, like subconsciously and consciously, we want to feel safe.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely agree. Okay. So everyone starts somewhere. And I kind of want to get into your journey a little bit, like what sparked it and fanned the flames for you to kind of propel you to where you are right now? Like, where did it all start for you?
So for me, I would always say, like, I'm in a purpose identity crisis. Like, I was always fixated on, I want to live my purpose. Like, I want to live a fulfilling, purposeful life, but I never knew what it was. And growing up, I saw like my dad, he was not really happy at his job and like miserable, but he did it for the money. And, you know, the programming we get of like, you know, just get a good job and make good money. Who cares if you don't like what you do? And you can't follow your purpose or your passions and make money, and all these like stories we were given. So me, I always kind of rebelled to what I saw, and I'm like, no, F that. I want to be purposeful. I want to like really love what I'm doing, but I didn't know what it was for the longest time. So I went into social work because I did know that I wanted to help people. Like, I had that inner knowing that I wanted to make a difference in the world. I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself, like
double
hearing my voice. Yeah. Do you hear it? Okay. That's weird. Maybe I'll pull one ear out. So, okay, cool. It's weird. I don't know. My bad. I'm sorry. It's like distracting me because I kept hearing myself. Okay. I'm just because can you hear, like, everything's good?
Totally fine. All good.
Perfect. I went into the social work, and even with social work, I was like, oh my God, this is weird. I'm hearing myself speak. I'm like trying to like the show must go on, but like it's so weird when okay.
You want to plug the earphones back in? It might help you better. That happened to me one time on this on the computer.
But so, oh yeah, that was better. Interesting. That's so weird. I unplugged and plugged in, and now I'm good. Okay, no. So when I went for my social work degree, I just always growing up, I felt not good enough. I had a learning disability. I was overweight. A lot of, I always compared myself to my older sister who was also a social worker. And she was just like everything to me and beautiful and smart and intelligent and everything. And I never felt good enough. So in social work, I was just like, every part of me knew that it was not my forever, but every part of me told me it was my right now. But even with it being my right now, I never felt like I was a good enough social worker, that I was smart enough, that I was capable enough. And with that not feeling good enough and feeling inadequate and feeling lost and confused and being like, what's my purpose? What am I here for? I don't know, blah, 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 getting so caught up in that. So what did a college student do who's severely insecure and overweight and has this not good enough complex? I was drinking, I was drugging, I was acting freaking reckless. I was trying to numb my feelings and not really feel. I was with like certain partners that totally did not deserve me because I didn't realize this, but subconsciously I was seeking, validation, seeking that I was good enough and worthy enough and deserving enough. But what happened was, instead of that, I just had more guilt and shame. Right. But I didn't know how to identify that. So what did I do? I drank and drugged more, and it was like a cycle until I got arrested. And that
wow.
Yeah, that shook shit up. And even after getting arrested, I still drank and drugged for a little bit until I was like, all right, enough is enough. And I'm so thankful for that experience.
Was there a bottom for you? Like, was it like, okay, I'm done. Like, this is the rock bottom part of the life cycle here.
Yeah, that's a really great question, babe. Yeah, it actually was, because it was like the day I got arrested is so crazy because it was the night of my first date with my most toxic relationship I've ever been in, like ever. I feel like we all have like at least one of those.
So we have.
Yeah. So it was like I got arrested. I got into a toxic relationship. It was horrible. Then I got in 2 car accidents within a week from each other, and it was just like one thing after another. And I was going to get my master's in social work, and I was like, oh my God, I have to get a background check. What if my whole career is gone to shit because of one stupid decision? And there's a lot of shame, a lot of like self-judgment and beating myself up, not feeling good enough, like insecurities all around. But then finally, with all that, I was just like, I remember I was interning in a substance abuse facility, and I was just like, I was running a group for the first time, and my notes were drenched. My hands were drenched. My heart was going like this. I felt so inadequate. And I'm like, how are these people going to take me serious when I don't even take myself serious? And I remember looking into medication for anxiety because I just didn't want to feel like this anymore. And then it was like in a moment, I don't know it was just like, enough is enough. I am done with this bullshit. I'm taking back my power. And really, like, I solidified that. I let that relationship go. I didn't drink or drug for a long, long time. Now I drink every once in a while, but like, no shade on that, like whatever. It's just, I knew I was doing it as a coping mechanism, not like, so with that, I just started really getting into personal development really heavy, law of attraction. And through that, I attracted. Yeah.
I'm curious though, because I know like, you're into spirituality, and I don't know if you were as into it back then, but I'm a big fan of like synchronicities and like seeing the signs. And I mean, obviously you were hit with a lot of different signs that you probably didn't see at the beginning. Was there something that kind of just like hit you, that there was a sign that was like, all right, that's it. Like, this is it. This is the sign I needed to hear, or this is the person that came into my life, or the thing I needed to see. Yeah. The thing that kind of like propelled you into like doing the right thing for yourself.
Yeah. So when I was getting really heavy into manifestation, I just kept affirming, golden opportunity. I'm so grateful and blessed for these golden opportunities. I'm so thankful and blessed for these golden opportunities that are coming my way. So what happened was one of my friends showed me this network marketing company called World Ventures. And when he showed me the video, and at this point I was a social worker during my day job, but I knew like that wasn't my forever, but I just didn't know what it was. And when he showed me the video of like, it was like vacations and everything, I literally had chills all over my body, babe, like literally all over my body. And in that moment, again, I had this intuitive gut feeling that, okay, this is not my forever, but everything is telling me it's my right now. So, oh my God, was it my right now? Thank God for network marketing. Thank God for World Ventures, because it's through there where you're building a team. So you start like unofficially coaching and mentoring without even recognizing, right? And then also everyone's into personal development. Like it's heavy, like everyone's like positive and, you know, really motivating and empowering. And I remember I hit like this little milestone in the company, and they had this training, and they invited everyone who hit that milestone to come up and to share like a tip. And I was one of the first people. And it's actually my Instagram, which I'm so grateful that it's recorded. It was like, babe, it was literally like 1 minute long. And in the beginning, I'm like, hi, my name is Kelly. I'm a social worker. And by the end of that 1 minute, the crowd was standing, cheering. I was like, I don't even remember what I was saying, but I was like clapping, and I was like, like that. And in that moment, literally the only word I could describe it was electrifying. I felt truly electrifying. I felt the energy of the audience, of myself. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, holy shit, this was the high I was feeling. I wanted to chase my whole life. This is why I did drugs. Like I wanted to feel that electricity that was flowing through me. And right after that, like in that moment, I was like, holy moly cajoli, I am meant to be a coach, and I'm meant to be a speaker. And boom, just like that, like I knew.
And guess what? It came from you being authentically yourself and telling your story in that 1 minute, right?
Yeah, and trusting my intuition, trusting that even though I was like, okay, I don't see this forever, something in my gut, my body literally reacted with it, with the angel bump, goosebumps all over. I call it angel bumps, but and I'm so glad that I honored that, because it was a stepping stone to get me clear on what I actually want to do, you know?
Absolutely. So, okay, so now walk me through this. So now you've done this network marketing thing. How did that turn into like, okay, this is my next step, but how did it turn into like your full career?
So it's funny that you say that, because once I recognized, oh, I'm meant to be a speaker and a coach, fear hit hard. Fear hit hard, and was like, I was kind of like, I call it passive action. I was looking into a business coach, and I got my logo done, and I was doing little baby steps, but I wasn't really taking action, but I was like kinda, until, and people would ask me, oh, what do you do? And I would tell people, I'm a social worker, but what I really want to do is coach and speak, or where I really see myself is coaching and speaking. Right. I was all talk and no walking, but like, or whatever that expression is, right? Like,
no action.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking the talk, but not walking the walk, right? But in my mind, I was, because I was doing those passive action taking of, here's my logo, not doing anything with it, but here's my logo. Went on my discovery call with that business coach, not doing anything with her, but did that, you know what I mean? Until it was so funny, and this is such first world problems, but I was dating a guy from World Ventures for like literally a week and a half. And he was also a speaker, and he put on his Facebook status, he's like, if you want to be a speaker, you need to take action and actually like do something, like take action. I don't remember the words at all, but Teany, I remember being so triggered. I was so pissed off. And I know it was a reflection of me, because he was talking to everyone, but I knew that I was not taking action, that I was allowing fear to get the best out of me.
Right.
So when he said that, it like stabbed me, but like in the best way, but not in that moment. I was pissed. But what I would like to say is like, he pissed me so off that he pissed me on. And that night I hired that business coach that was in a discovery call, and I started my business out of ego, honestly, out of anger. But I'm not a proponent of anger, but I do say like anger will move you to action, whether it's helpful action or not, it will move you. Yeah. And it totally moved me. And that's how I started.
Yeah, I call it pain to passion.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot, actually, because I feel like people kind of lead lives and they're like, la, la, mediocre, whatever. And sometimes you get really mad. And then you got to use that like that like extra energy of like, this is not how I want my life to be. This is not where I see myself. This is not how it was supposed to be, you know? Or in your case, like this guy triggered you and like he set you off, and it's like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit and just talk about it and like let the energy dissipate? Or are you going to do something with it? Right?
Exactly. And I hired my first ever business coach on literally ego, but I'm so grateful. Even recently, like a month ago, he reached out to me and I actually thanked him for like that Facebook status, because that's how I started it. That's how, you know, so.
I love it. So I was just going to ask, you got ahead of me. Who inspired you? I know he was one of them. Was there anyone else that kind of was like, look, Kelly, I don't know what you think you're doing, but you got this, like, you know, you're inspiring, your story, this and that and the other. Was there anyone else that kind of like pushed you?
Yeah, I mean, my sister for sure. It's so funny because even before this network marketing, she went to like a network marketing event, and she met a coach the first time she's ever met a coach before. And she came back to me and she's like, Kelly, I know what you're meant to do. Because again, I'm telling you, this purpose identity crisis was real. Like I was always fixated on it. She's like, I met this coach and she has similar energy of you. And I like could totally see you coaching. And she's the one that brought it into my awareness. But I was like, I kind of shook it off, like, no, until the network marketing World Ventures, everyone was giving me such positive feedback, and I was really speaking life into people. And it was just, a lot of my current clients are from World Ventures. So it just like all lined up. But I definitely would have to say my sister has been like one of my biggest inspirations and like pushes, you know?
That's awesome. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to just really quick honor you, because I feel like not everybody is comfortable telling their story, and not everyone is comfortable telling it in front of a lot of people. So your 1 minute, you know, of stage time, like, I don't know how many people were there, but that was the beginning. And now you've continued doing that. So I just want to honor you for doing that, because not everybody has that ability and, you know, can do that. So
thank you. Thank you, babe. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very inspiring because, you know, people want to do that. People want to turn their pain to passion, and they just don't know how. And so this whole interview all these interviews that I do is for people, like with people like you, right? People who've done it, who can show, okay, like I was there, guys. Like I didn't feel good about myself either. I wasn't doing well, you know, and then I found the little pieces, the dots along the way, right?
100%. I'm such a believer that your story is your power wherever you are on the story, the highs, the lows, the pain, anywhere on your timeline. Absolutely. It's your power, because I truly believe the universe only teaches us what we're meant to teach other people. And it's like, by you overcoming and you keeping on, like, you know how many people you're going to inspire just by you just keeping on? Like how many people will connect with your pain? Because although we all experience different experiences, the emotions we feel are universal. We all can connect on that emotional level, you know?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, in psychology, they say that people remember their pain more than they remember the good things that happen to them. But that's also because we're not using the pain properly, right? We're not using our pain to actually drive us and to push us in the forward directions, right? All right. So Lee Blackstone says that she totally agrees with you and your journey and everything you've been through. So awesome. Good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So listen, I'm a big fan of the philosophy, do what you love, which you've already started. You've been doing it for some time now. So what fun things do you incorporate that's not just your job, right? Like the career stuff that you do and your purpose and all that. Like what other things kind of keep you high vibe? I'm a big fan of just continuation, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. So actually it's really funny. So, you know, not everyone, but every time there's a new year, certain people do fake phrases or like words that they want to embody for that year, like that intention. So this year my intention was own it. And I meant own it like that, like Sasha Fierce, own it in regards to my body image, because I've done a lot of work on my, you know, not good enough complex and feeling good enough and everything like that. But I didn't master my relationship with food, because I had like binge eating relationship with food, very like restrictive, like Monday through Friday, be good, like diet mentality, weekend, go crazy. Like food had so much
Right.
power over me, and I was very overweight. I didn't feel like I wouldn't want to be intimate. Like I wouldn't want to be naked. Like I didn't feel confident in myself. And I knew there was a goddess within me, because I feel like there's a goddess in everyone, right? Like I feel like we have that divinity energy within us.
Yes,
so I knew, right? Like I knew it was there, but I needed like to be super intentional about it. So I was like, own it. Own it is my word for 2019. And the universe does not play. How I feel about intentions, because I do intentions with everyone, all my clients, all my audience members, every speech I give, like I'm very intentional, because I truly, when I feel into the energy of intention, I think of the image of like when you're in the airplane, in the plane, and there's a person like directing the airplane and they're going like this and stuff. I feel like when you set the intention, you set the energetic pathway of like, this is what I want. So now the universe can support you in that energy of what you want. And it's exactly what happened to me. I manifested, I attracted this Vixen dance workout. Oh, girl. Like, I love it.
I'll be honest, I kind of stalked you a little bit, and I'm like, dang, does she offer that course here?
Google it, girl. There's Vixen dance workouts everywhere, and like eventually I want to do pole dancing, but like I'm not there yet. Like eventually, like that's the goal. I want to do some pole dancing, but I attracted Vixen dance workout, and what was the beautiful thing about it was that the Vixen instructors that I've connected with, they were manifesting me. Like they literally were manifesting me in both ways, friendship, but also in spiritual guidance. So I have some of them coming to my retreat. We've exchanged services, bartered services. So not only am I doing like this dance workout that really helps me like get my like Sasha Fierce like alter ego on and like tune into that goddess energy, we're also like, I'm also being able to be of service for them. So it was like so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And first of all, I was a salsa dancer, so I'm a huge fan of dancing.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings feminine and masculine into one. But especially if you want to bring out the goddess in you, like, yeah, that's a really, really great way to energize all the things that you want to bring up, right?
Yeah. And then like spiritually, energetically, when you're dancing and you just like allow your soul like to guide you in the movements, you're releasing stagnant energy, you're balancing your chakras, you're lifting your vibration, and you're having more joy. So it's like a triple whammy. It checks off all the boxes. You know, if you're aligned with dancing, not everyone is. So, you know, there's a bunch of other things you can do. But for me personally, it was like everything.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of movement in general. I mean, especially like I have a lot of friends who run. So it doesn't have to be dancing, right? It could be running. It could be, you know, whatever it is that motivates you, Pilates, whatever.
Yeah. Art, acting, like, yeah, totally. 100%.
Absolutely. All right. So has anything or anyone stopped you from your high vibe journey? I'm curious, like, has anything happened or with anyone, or has anyone like put a wrench in it for you that has like kind of like derailed you at any time during your journey?
Like an actual person?
A situation, you know, anything that kind of like, it's like, oh my God, the shit hit the fan. What am I going to do now?
Okay. Yeah, totally. Not a person, but a situation. So I left my day job February 2nd, 2018, right? I had literally total of $700 in all my accounts, and I had at least 1,000 plus monthly like bills, and I had a business plan of literally a month and a half out, right? And I had some current like clients. So the first couple of months of my business full time was good, right? I'm like, okay, until my clients started ending their contracts, right? The group program that I was running for my month and a half business plan, that ended. And I like the money was going. And then all of a sudden it was like, holy shit, like I have to, because at the end, before it was like my job gave me the consistent income to pay all. Now I was in charge of my livelihood. Like I was in charge of paying bills. So all of a sudden it triggered that scarcity within me. Like, holy shit, like I got to show up. But then I felt so much pressure, and I felt all these money stories. Like, but am I good enough? Can I provide enough value? Who's going to see me? The algorithm, like all these bullshit stories, right? So what happened was in June and July, the summer months of 2018, I don't remember. I think it was July. It was my birthday month. It was like the hardest month I've ever experienced. And I hit a financial rock bottom of literally, I kid you not, Teany, like maybe it was $4 in my checkings and $7 in my savings, maxed out credit cards, 0 on my PayPal. And I was freaking the F out. I was freaking out. I was feeling so much shame, so much like not good enough. And when I recognized that, because I used a lot of the tools that I channel journal and everything, and I recognized that, holy shit, I feel like a fraud because my message and my mission is all about you're inherently worthy and deserving of your desires. You can be, do, have whatever you want to be, do, and have, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your past. It doesn't define you. You define yourself. You got this, da da da. That's what I preach, and I live by that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I thought I did. In that moment, that rock bottom, I recognized that I was attaching my self-worth to my lack of funds in my bank account. And then I recognized that I was going against my mission and my message. And then, girl, I cried like no one's business. Ugly girl cried. I can't even tell you. I was so like, oh my God, I'm a fraud. I'm an imposter, blah, blah, blah. And what saved me was multiple things, but what really I really want to share with everyone is that when I was channel journaling and I was connecting with my higher self, she was like, Kelly, like this mission, this message chose you. You didn't choose this mission. So your job, you're human. Your job is to do the inner work, to do the healing, to do the growing, the evolving, to get into alignment with this mission, with this message, so you can show up more powerfully. You're exactly where you're meant to be right now. You're like,
yep.
Keep going. I kept getting that message of keep going. You're exactly where you're meant to be right now. Everything will connect. All the dots will connect. Keep going, blah, blah, blah. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, you're right. Because this school is meant to be, this life is meant to be a school for us to evolve and to grow. So that message kind of gave me like an opportunity to like breathe, you know?
Peace.
Yeah, because I felt like such a fraud and an imposter. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Like, I just got to do the work. Like, I just got to keep on and, I'll get there.
I think we all go through that as coaches. I think coaching especially, right? And probably therapists, anyone that really like helps people at that level probably goes through that because we're like, oh my God, but I have my own shit to work through.
Yeah.
Who's going to believe me if I'm not perfect, right? But that's exactly what makes you a good coach. The fact that you're not.
Exactly, girl. And again, going back to the universe teaches you what you're meant to teach other people. So it's like, I needed that experience because not only did it help me become a better coach and a better speaker, it helped build my character. I gained more wisdom. I just became a better person. And now like today, jam-packed day, like it's 9:30 our time. And I'm so grateful. Like I cannot even be like, I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude. Like this morning, I was like, wow, I'm so grateful because just that summer, July 2018, I would go weeks without client calls. I'd go weeks without anything. So the fact that I had like a jam-packed day of things that light me up, I'm like so grateful. And it's only because I had that contrast. I had those rock bottoms to help me appreciate what I like, the abundance, like it's great. It's like if I had to go back in time, honestly, Teany, I would live it all again.
Wow, that's awesome. So, I mean, I know that you gained a whole perspective on gratitude. Is there anything that you actually, I know you said that you channeled, were there a couple of steps that you actually took to kind of, continue to move yourself out of that zone?
Yeah, so it was, I channel journaled, so I cried. I'm very big, and I know, because I had you on my podcast, the Empowered You podcast, little plug, shameless plug.
Yes.
I had you on, and I remember you saying, like, you had a feel to heal, and, like, you're very much into the feeling, and I could not agree with you more. So, literally, I cried, I surrendered, I prayed, I cried, I showed up, I shrunk, I resisted, I played victim, I went out in nature, I cried, I reached out to identified supports. I journaled. I meditated my life away. Literally, I would meditate for hours just wanting to be saved. Like, I did it all. Honestly, I did it all. And luckily, I have a coach that I work with that we coach each other. We trade services. I'm running a retreat with her. I love her to pieces. So it's like we're friends, but we're also coaches. So we meet once a week and we mastermind. And it's like so amazing because we're free. Like I'm free for her and she's free for me. And I'll be like, okay, my turn. And then she'll coach me. And then I'm like, okay, let's go pee. And then now your turn. And then I coach her. So thank God I had her. That. Yeah, I had her. So I had a badass coach that was supporting me. And then I used my resources, my spiritual resources. And like, I just tried it all. And I just kept on keeping on. And what got me to actually like get out of this funk was I hosted my first ever retreat It was a one day retreat. I got money in. I lost money. It was an investment, but just getting some momentum of money in and people trusting me with their energy and their story and me showing up in a very different way and in a way I never thought I could. I always wanted to do retreats, but I was so scared. So it built up my confidence. It helped me get into that momentum. And then after that first retreat, I'm like, when's going to be my next one? Like, I loved it so much. So like it just got me into momentum, even though I lost money. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. No, totally. And I love that, like, partnerships aren't a bad thing. Well, two things. One, a coach usually has a coach. So don't think that because we're coaches that we're perfect and that we don't need help, because I've had several coaches in several areas of my business. So, and I still get them, right?
Yeah.
So it never ends. Every time we reach a level, there's a higher level and there's other levels to grow in different directions, laterally, up, down, whatever.
And if we want our clients to invest in us, it's like, okay, but what do you invest in? Like, if I want to lead by example, I've always been one to lead by example. And it's like, yeah, I invest, like the last coach I worked with, she was literally like paying rent in Bergen County. Like, she was the most money I've ever spent. It was a 6-month commitment. I was scared shitless, but I just knew, I'm like, I gotta invest in her. I gotta. And it just like, now it's just, I don't know. I really just feel like it helps people that do and want to invest in you show like, okay, she practices what she preaches. Like, she does invest in her own personal growth and spiritual growth and business growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even like learning like new tools and new things. Like I just, learned pranic healing, for example. Like, there's different things that you can add to your practice that, help you keep growing, right? Continue.
100%. And we can't see our blind spots. So it's like, sometimes we're just too emotionally invested. So it takes someone outside of your situation who's not biased to look within and be like, oh, but this is what's happening. And you're like, holy shit, you're so right. And it just like is a light bulb that you didn't see because you were so emotionally invested.
Absolutely.
So powerful.
Absolutely. So now that we've talked about our issues, right? Coaches, what are a couple of patterns that you've noticed that limit people from actually pursuing their passions like you have?
Yeah. So definitely the not good enough complex that's very huge. I also feel a lack of self-love, which definitely kind of goes into the not good enough, like the whole realm of lack of self-love, not feeling worthy or deserving or good enough or capable enough or confident enough. I feel like it's all kind of together with the lack of self-love, which I believe a lot of us are all struggling with that because like our society, the media is literally conditions us to feel inadequate and not good enough so we can buy these services and these products to be good enough and all that crap. So it's like, not only do we get it from the society, but then we all experience trauma and our upbringing, our caregivers, our parents, our teachers, our grandparents or whatever, they're also pretty wounded or like wounded inner children. They're probably hurt too. So it's like hurt people. So it's like all this conditioning and all this stuff. So I always tell my clients, like, loving yourself is probably going to be one of the hardest things you ever have to do, but it's so worth it. And it's like an ongoing journey. You're always going to be working on loving yourself because every time you up level and you get into a new chapter in your life and you evolve, these little stories, these fear stories, these limiting beliefs come up because it's like an onion and you heal with layers. So it's like a deeper onion to heal, like layer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a process, but it's so needed. Self-love.
And we get it from so many levels. I mean, it's not just your family, it's society, it's your friends, it's the people you hang out with, it's teachers, like we've learned it from across the board. And so you don't even know where some of the stuff that you have deep down in there is coming from until it starts coming up and bubbling up when you're starting to be successful, right?
Yeah, what I found, because in my business, the first 11 months, I made no money, none. Thank God I had a day job at that time. Like, I wasn't that crazy, but I had like no movement in my business. And I knew, I was like, I thought I loved myself, but I tell everyone this, you don't know how much you don't love yourself until you start your own business. Because if your business is not expanding, it's a direct reflection of what's going on internally, because your business is an extension of your energy. So it's a reflection of your energy. So I was like 11 months, no money, all these discovery calls, no one signing up to like work with me. Like, what is going on? So, I don't know why I went into that. I lost my train of thought.
No, absolutely. I think it's super important for people to understand some of these like things that we have to work through, and they're hard. We work through them too, like, and sometimes we still work through them, right? Like, things still come up. So
yeah.
And I know that you help them now as a coach. So that's amazing. We need more people like you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So what's one thing you recommend that people do when they want to find more meaning? Because there's one thing about, finding passions and things that you like, but I'm a big fan of like, okay, it's cool that you like to do that and you love to do X, Y, and Z, but what's the, how do you find that deeper meaning? What do you think?
Deeper meaning, I feel, stems from like inner child healing. So connecting with your inner child and like seeing what she or he may need. Like what brings your inner child joy? Like how can you help your inner child heal? Because your inner child is like an energy of you, but has free will and is literally running your reality, because 95% of our reality stems from the programming in our subconscious mind, and that was downloaded in childhood. So I feel like if you're like struggling with finding meaning and with finding purpose and with finding like what you want to do in life, it's kind of like, all right, let me go back to my inner child and work on healing my inner child and work on loving myself. Because as you start reparenting and loving your inner child, she's you or he's you. So as you heal her or him, you heal yourself as well. So when you start loving yourself and you start connecting with your inner child and getting more clarity on what brings you joy and what brings you light, and you start feeling lighter, you get more clear, you start getting more clarity, and the universe starts lighting things up for you. And it's just like, it's a game changer. But I feel like we're so programmed in this society to be like, want instant gratification. Like we want the answers now. We want the how-to step-by-step process and blah,
and the
blah,
magic
blah.
pill and whatever else.
Yeah, but it's like, it doesn't work that way. Like it
Yep.
doesn't. We have to follow the breadcrumbs. We have to trust our intuition. We have to work on loving ourselves. And once that happens, things line up and you'll be like blown away by how things line up for you and show up for you.
I love it. I love it. So how do you continue to master your craft now, since you've already uncovered all the dots for yourself?
Oh no, girl, I didn't uncover all the dots. Like, you mean like where I'm at right now?
Yeah. Like how do you now that you've, you are where you are at this point, you're a coach and you've done the inner work to get to this point. So how do you continue to master your craft and your passion and continue to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I continue inner work is never done. Like you're never done with it. So like I do inner child work. I'm a part of this membership group, and she does it's called The Pathways, and her name is Lacey Phillips, and she offers these workshops. So I was doing her inner child workshop for a while, and then I was doing her shadow workshop for a while, and a lot of new things came up. So I'm constantly working on myself all the time. And I learned also through my clients and like inspirational all around. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I'm always feeding my mind to grow my soul with the intention of bettering myself, because I know when I better myself and learn myself more, I help other people. Because it's like we're all connected. We're all one. Different experiences, yeah. But the more I've recognized, the more that I understand me, the more I reach more people and the more impact I make.
Absolutely. Amen. Self-work.
all day, every day.
Every day. So tell us what you do right now and how you empower people, and what do you see yourself going?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in such a good place right now. Like I just came off, well, I'm still in a detox, but it was like a 40-day detox where I was doing all this heavy work, like the inner child work, the shadow work, a lot of shit came up. So I've worked on a lot of that, and now I'm able to like see clearer. And I'm like, oh my God, for so long, I'm like, I want to expand my business. Blah, blah, blah. And then today, or was it today? Yeah. This morning I was like, or yesterday, I was like, Kelly, you're doing exactly what you wanted. Like I have 2 upcoming retreats happening in next weekend, and then in November. Yeah, I'm so grateful that got sold out, and I'm so excited. I love retreats and weekend retreats. And I have a growing podcast that I love so much that I'm getting really great feedback, and I'm connecting with a lot of new people.
Like me.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Love it.
Yeah, I have one-on-one clients. I just recently done a masterclass for inner child healing, because I find that that's inner child healing is something I'm the most passionate about right now. I'm the most aligned with. And I didn't start with inner child healing. It's evolved into inner child healing. And I'm just like obsessed with it now. So like, I'm really like digging deeper into like inner child healing packages and masterclasses and stuff like that. And I'm just loving it. I'm just like open, and I have speaking engagements, but I really want to, like, where I see myself going is I definitely want to expand my business, my speaking business. I really want to speak more, and I want to reach more audience members, and I want to travel and speak. So that's really like where I
Amazing.
want to do that with like also the retreats, but not as much, like once a year or twice a year, and like, with the podcast and just some VIP clients. Like that's really what I want. Where I'm headed.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to send you all the good juju.
Thank you. I received. Thank you so much, girl. I really appreciate it.
First of all, I want to tell you that I love the inner child work because I talk a lot about this too. I don't call it inner child work, but basically it's kind of like going back into a little bit of your past and kind of digging up all the stuff you used to love too, right? Like a little bit of inner child work is doing that too. Like remembering all that stuff that you really love, that really feeds your soul, right? So that kind of stuff is so important. We lose all that when we become adults and we start adulting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So important.
And I know it's heavy, and I know a lot of people don't want to go back there because they're scared to relive certain traumas, or they don't want to open the can of worms and whatever. And I totally get that. Like one particular client I'm working with, we had to build up her coping skills first before we did inner child healing. And that was great. But other people, it's like the method I use, it's like I take them on a meditation where they bring up their inner child forward, but you're not like, you're seeing your inner child like an outside perspective. Like it's weird. So it's like she or he may bring up a memory, but you don't feel that connection because you're seeing it through, like if you're like watching it through a video, like it's weird. Right. So it is emotional, it's releasing, it's heavy, but all my clients feel so much lighter. Like after they do this work, they're like, wow, like I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. Why was I so scared? Like I feel so much more empowered. I feel so much better, blah, blah, blah. So super powerful.
I feel like a lot of people feel like these things have control over them, right? Mm-hmm. But you really have control over it. You just have to recognize that. So good. I'm so glad you're doing that kind of work. Yes.
Amen, sister. Amen.
So awesome. So where can people find you, and how can they find all the work that you're out, putting out there?
Yeah, I would love for people to connect with me on my podcast, the Empowered You podcast. Definitely Instagram. I'm really trying to like grow my Instagram. So I'm over there at itskellyespino, and Facebook. Facebook has been my like home really, but I'm really trying to like, I love Facebook, but now I'm really trying to like expand my Instagram. So that's where I'm at.
All right, cool. So what do you offer for people? Is there like an initial discovery call? Like how can people work with you?
Yeah, I haven't had a discovery call in forever, but there is an option. Like you can have a discovery call if you want a discovery call. I have like one-off sessions. I have an inner child healing package. I have a 2-month program, a 3-month program. Now I'm going to start offering master classes. That's going to come, and I have retreats that I offer.
I love it. Tell me a little bit about the retreats. Like, how does that work? I know it's a weekend, so it's actually kind of nice because it's a weekend and you can get back to your life, right?
Work. Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. At first, it evolved because my first ever retreat started off as 1 day, 8 hours, because I was scared. Like I was new to this. I wanted to wet my feet, but I didn't want to really commit. So that 8-hour retreat. And it's so funny because I was freaking out about it, had a lot of resistance, and my guides totally had my back on this because I surrendered the content. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to teach, but I'm just going to surrender, like whatever it's going to be for the highest good, whatever. I was in meditation, and what came through was this 6-week group program that I offered using that content for the retreat. So that's exactly what I did. So I didn't have to recreate the wheel. I already had everything that I was really passionate about. But 8 hours was totally not enough. Like that is a full-on weekend. So after that, I got my feet wet, and I was like, we couldn't get through like half of the workbook because there was not enough time. So then my next retreat, it was like 3 days, and now it's 4 days because like it really like it takes time. Like it's a lot, but it's literally everything I've ever wanted. I've gone to retreats, and how we created this one, because then I teamed up with my coach for this last one, this next retreat we're having. How we set it up, it's like we build into the heavy work like Friday night, Saturday, and then Sunday is a self-love day. It's all, we have like a dance teacher coming in. We have a Reiki therapist, a massage therapist who also works with your nervous system. We have a photo booth company coming in, like a hot tub, like fun. Nice. Like it's just like, so it's like you do heavy shit, you have a community, you transform, but then Sunday is about like, I choose me, making myself priority, releasing the stagnant energy, because you get emotionally exhausted from the energy work, like you're energetically depleted. And so it raises your vibration, you connect. It's like you leave the retreat feeling so empowered. That's why it's called the Empowered You Retreat, but also with such a beautiful community and a lot of tools in your tool belt. So it's like super powerful. I love it.
I love it. And just to really quick, because I caught this, and then like, I know you went into the details, but I just love that when you did your meditation, that what you got was that you already had the tools, you already had the content, you already had the information. And I think that's such a powerful thing for people to understand, that oftentimes you don't have to do, a full program, like a whole coaching program. Sometimes you already can do it. Like you can already start, talking to people now. Sure, certifications are nice, and maybe you'll definitely get tools and whatever. But a lot of times we already have some of the skills to start, right?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because I never even saw that. Like, but you're so true. And what I really love from that is the surrendering, because I have this like surrender intention that I always say, and then I let it go. Don't think about it, because then that's fake surrendering, because I've done that too. And it always just comes, and it doesn't always come in meditation. It just like sometimes randomly comes, and that's really powerful as well.
I love that. Love it. All right. So if you want to find her, you can find her on IG. It's Kelly Espino. You can also find her Empowered You podcast, which I love, and I've heard it. So
well, you were a guest. Thank you so much for being a guest. Crazy, amazing feedback.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And if you guys have questions and want to reach out to her, definitely ask questions below, and I'll forward all the questions to her so she can answer them and help you in whatever way that you need. Thank you, Kelly. I honor you so much for the work you've done and for what you're continuing to do and all the things that you want to do in your future. So I'm just going to send all that to you now.
Thank you, babe. And thank you for answering the call. You're actually an expander for me, and your evidence to show me that I can write a book when the time is right.
Yeah.
I've been guided to that, but timing is not right at all. But seeing you do your thing is like very inspiring. So thank you for answering the call and doing what you're doing, because you're changing lives out here like 100%.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us. Feel free to repost, share, and just continue following this kind of work, because Kelly and I were doing the same, type of work, and it's out there for you guys to enjoy and to like grow and to expand. So that's what we're here for. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on the Passionful side. Bye.
Bye.